Locked in limbo, NBA restricted free agency has become one of the most dramatic and least predictable storylines of this quiet offseason. The league isn't buzzing with blockbuster trades or superstar signings, but beneath the surface, high-stakes negotiations and simmering grudges are redefining player futures. But here's where it gets controversial. These standoffs aren't just about money, but about value, opportunity, and the very direction of entire franchises. Are teams foolishly clinging to leverage, or are players making risky bets on themselves? Let's dig into where things stand, and why these choices could shake up the league for years. Kuminga, betting on himself or playing with fire. Among all the restricted free agents, Jonathan Kuminga's situation with the Golden State Warriors is perhaps the hottest and most debated topic around the league. Rather than moving toward resolution, talks seem to be frozen. The Warriors, recognizing Kuminga's raw athleticism and flashes of brilliance, have already put a 2-year $45 million offer on the table. Sounds generous, right? But here's the part that has both fans and analysts divided. Kuminga is holding out, insisting he deserves closer to $30 million per year. But to the Warriors, that's all-star money for someone who hasn't truly established himself in Steve Kerr's system. It's an especially tough sell when you consider the Warriors' stacked lineup, featuring superstars like Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. Even the most optimistic Kuminga fan would have to admit, there's just not enough oxygen for everyone's star to shine that bright, nor enough shots for Kuminga to reach all-star status, barring a major roster shakeup. So Kuminga's considering another bold move. Skipping a longer deal entirely, and instead accepting the $7.9 million qualifying offer for 1 season. A classic bet-on-yourself strategy. This option, confirmed by ESPN's Anthony Slater, would let Kuminga play out next year and then hit the market as an unrestricted free agent. High risk, high reward, but also potentially high regret if luck turns or his role shrinks further. From the Warriors' perspective, this is a nightmare scenario. Rather than letting a promising player walk away for nothing next summer, they'd surely prefer a trade. But there's the catch. So far, no team is meeting Golden State's demands, reportedly including at least an unprotected first-round pick. Sacramento tested the waters, allegedly offering Malik Monk and a lottery-protected 2030 first-rounder. But the Warriors said no. The Suns have also expressed interest, aiming for a sign and trade, but with their own draft picks tied up for years, they offer little incentive. Even the Bulls entered the rumor mill, with the Warriors genuinely keen on Josh Giddey. Yet, Chicago seems... So here's the controversy. Should the Warriors be more flexible before they lose Kuminga for nothing? Or is Kuminga overestimating his market, risking millions in the name of pride and future stardom? Would you rather see your team roll the dice or secure assets while they still can? Giddey, waiting out the market or rolling the dice? Josh Giddey's standoff with the Bulls mirrors Kuminga's in some ways, but adds even more intrigue. Giddey is after roughly $30 million per year, while the Bulls reportedly countered with a 4-year, $80 million deal, which Giddey turned down, according to Jake Fisher. Both sides remain optimistic, ESPN's Jamal Collier notes, but Giddey is also drawing attention from other Eastern Conference teams. Who exactly? No one knows for sure. If Giddey gets a big offer sheet from an ambitious suitor, the Bulls can match, but here's the risky part. Chicago might have to pay more than they hoped, or risk losing an important piece of their young core. Right now, leverage favors Chicago, since few teams have the cap space to offer Giddey his dream deal. So the Bulls appear content to be patient, perhaps hoping Giddey will accept a lower number for the promise of a key role in their future. But is this patience savvy strategy, or a recipe for future regret? Cam Thomas, the next breakout star? Over in Brooklyn, Cam Thomas faces a very different vibe. The Nets aren't pushing hard to keep him long-term. According to Fisher, so much so that Thomas is widely seen as the most likely top restricted free agent to simply take the $6 million qualifying offer for next season. That would set Thomas up for unrestricted free agency in a year's time, letting him chase a much larger payday and a starring role elsewhere. The potential drama? A player with something to prove is always dangerous. And after a breakout 24 points per game season, even on a struggling Nets squad, Thomas has more than just a scorer's reputation. If he continues developing his all-around game, who's to say he won't be the next sought-after young gun? Still, some argue the Nets are letting a big-time scoring talent walk too easily. Are they missing an opportunity? Or is Thomas's one-dimensional play just not a fit for the Nets' future? Grimes and the Sixers, prove it or lose it. The Philadelphia 76ers situation with Quentin Grimes is surprisingly straightforward, at least on the surface. With only the Nets holding any real cap space, there are no outside teams able to force the Sixers' hand by making Grimes a richer offer than the $8.7 million qualifying offer available now. Fisher suggests Philly is confident they'll retain him, but the details are still up in the air. Here's where it gets interesting. After a mid-season trade to the Sixers and a string of injuries to stars like Joel Embiid, Paul George, and rookie Jared McCain, Grimes stepped up, averaging 22 points in just 28 games. But with a healthy roster next season and stiff competition at his position from Tyrese Maxey, McCain, and exciting draftee VJ Edgecombe, the Sixers don't have much incentive to offer anything more than the qualifying deal. If Grimes bets on himself and accepts it, he'll have another year to showcase his skills. But if injuries don't open up minutes, his value could stagnate or even fall. And this is the part most people miss. Philadelphia's track record with injuries creates both opportunity and risk. Is Grimes wise to gamble on another year, or is he putting his next contract in jeopardy? Bottom line, the restricted free agency chess match this summer is a masterclass in patience, perseverance, and calculated gambles. But here's what's up for debate. Do you think players like Kuminga, Giddey, Thomas, and Grimes are right to chase their potential at the risk of short-term money? Or are teams justified in holding firm, avoiding overpays for